I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I am really excited about my next guest, Dee. We actually got connected through her husband, who I call Lifesaver. I did Facebook Lives last year, and we've also done a podcast this year. And I am so excited to have her here today because she really is one of my, um, what's the word I want to say? She is one of my people in my arsenal that help me do the things that I do. She actually promotes the flyers for my guests who come on the podcast. So I'm really excited because she does wonderful work and it has just made my life a lot easier. So I'm excited to have her here today. And at this time, I'm going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself before we get into the interview.
Thank you, Lachelle. Thank you for the warm welcome. And let me introduce myself. As Lachelle called me Dee, calls me Dee, but my name is Debarati, and I work with the Nistula Group as the Chief Operating Officer. And Nistula Group is, it's a group. It's an Indian group of companies that deals with. We have around 10 companies and brands into the group. So Nistula Business Solution (OPC) is it's a company that we have in the Philippines. Nistula Business Solution Private Limited is a company in India that deals with management consultancy. Management consultancy in the sense that we do um, process optimization, revenue optimization, and we even deal with startups, and we do some sick industries rehabilitation. And we have another wing of the company, which is the Centrita Labs. We do the marketing and the marketing and digital marketing platforms that we have, like website development and this digital marketing like graphics and the ones that we do for Michelle that we help her with. So that's done by Centrita Labs. And then we have a renewable energy company, which is Nistula renewable energy. So that deals with renewable energy, as it says. And we have other companies like this Pastels and Hues and HOD, which is House of Debarati, which deals in fashion, women fashion wear. And the other one that we have is Elijah Lux, which deals with the high-end crockeries. Like like myself, I'm a very fond I'm very fond of vintage crockeries. So that's how we bought this into. So it's like an amalgamation of passion that me and my husband have, and we as and when we got these opportunities and we started developing the small little things, and we went ahead with making more companies. But we're just a very very humble group, and we have a very straightforward and very simple operating procedures. So that's all about it about myself. So that's
That
it.
is that is amazing. I am impressed with the number of different areas that, your business encompasses. So talk to
Yes,
us.
Michelle.
Yeah,
Yes,
how do
Michelle.
you expand that way? You know what I mean? Because some people are
Yes.
like, how do you make sure you're not doing too much? Or, how did it go into this pattern where you're in
Well,
some areas?
Michelle, that's a very valid question. It's something like because we can't, because two of us, my husband and I, we it's not possible for us to do everything, and to go through this 10 things together. So we have a really really we are blessed with a very good team, to help us. Like for the Centrata Labs, we have a marketing and digital marketing team, and for the consultancy part, usually me and my husband, and some very very professional people who are consultants. We take care of that. Otherwise, we have teams for different companies and brands that we have. And yes, I forgot to mention also, there is one of our main brand is Delphi POS Systems. We are actually also manufacturers of POS systems. You know, the POS, point of sale systems that
Yeah.
you that you see on the supermarket. That
Yeah.
when you go through the cash counter, and they do with this barcode scanner. They
Yeah.
scan the products, and then it comes out on a screen, a computer-like screen, and then
Right.
when they click on it, then the bill is generated and the cash drawer comes out, and
Hmm.
they give you the change and everything, and that's
Hmm.
the end of the transaction. So that's the
Hmm.
complete set that we manufacture. So we are also manufacturers of that. I forgot about that.
That
Sometimes it's
is
hard to remember.
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, so who is the brains behind all this? So, and I'm not saying that it has to be one person, but it's like you're doing good in one area. So how do you have the vision to expand into another area? Have that what's the word I want to say? You are able to take the risk and
Yes. Yes.
see the vision to expand to something different. So how does that happen? What
Well,
do you? Yeah.
yeah. Well, if you tell me about the brain behind this whole thing is, I would just say it's a very very spontaneous decision that we make. It's not something we plan before. It's how, like, we are strong believers of God. So I think the brain has to be from Him, because because when you go in His path, He will show you the way. So
Mhm.
that's what we believe in, and that's how we have been doing business. And well, touchwood, He has been very very helpful to us, and we have been doing good. So
That is amazing. Yeah.
that's so there
Yeah.
is no particular brain, but I can just say that, well, if for example I have I have an idea of a business, I
Mhm.
just speak to my husband,
Mhm.
definitely, and we discuss about it, and then
Mhm.
we think that if we think that it's a viable idea, then we go ahead. Like, we have to have that passion first of all. It's not
Mhm.
something that, oh, let me just try my hands into it. We don't want to burn our hands, and it's a rule with us. I have learned it all throughout this 10 years of my this business life. I've learned that whatever is not your domain, please do not try your hands into it, because
Mhm.
you need to have the knowledge. It might sound, for example, if I want to open a restaurant, it might sound like a very very viable and a very lucrative idea, but it
Mhm.
necessarily doesn't mean that I can do that well. you know so
Mhm.
you need to have the passion, the knowledge, the domain knowledge, and of course the faith in yourself to go ahead.
I love that. Now, so, you mentioned talking it over to your husband, with your husband, because, we have a lot of people during this pandemic, they're spending a lot more time with their spouses, and, their jobs are changing. So maybe they decide that they want to get a business or start a business with their spouse. Do With every time that you added on something, do you feel that you both have to have agreement about it? Like, let's say you're passionate about a restaurant, but your husband is like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't like that." Do you feel like you both have to be 100% into the idea in order for you to pursue it, or what have you guys done that's worked for you?
Well, listen, for me, for my husband and myself, I can tell you one thing is that we both have very, very um, understanding,
Mhm.
and we understand logic. So if it is logical, so either, if something is logical, I think my husband, approves. If something is not logical, I don't approve. So it's something like we never have to really, fight over something,
Mhm.
because we both understand the this dimensions of business.
Mm.
So and we would definitely not want to go ahead with something which could in future bring a bad name to us. It's very very important to us. It's very important to us. So
Uh,
whatever we do, we do it with complete, as I told you, with complete faith and with complete passion. If we don't have a passion about it, we just don't put our hands into it. It's very
I
simple.
love that. Yeah, I love that. And so we're going to switch gears a little bit because we were talking about women's empowerment before we got onto the call today.
Mhm.
So just, how we got connected. We had a meeting and, we came together for you being able to be a support system for me when it comes to the podcasting. And
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people, I think that's important to mention because so many times we have skills and things that we can do and we kind of lose sight of that when things get kind of negative in the uh, atmosphere, so to speak. Right now we're dealing with a global pandemic. A lot of people are seeing the negative side of that, and it's hard for them to have hope and think positively. So,
Mhm.
what do you think it was that kind of prompted you for us to connect the way we did in order to come together and support each other?
Okay. Can you repeat that question once more, Lachelle, please?
Okay. So I
Yeah.
said, what happened or what were you thinking to um
Oh, okay,
prompt
okay. I got
yeah,
it. I got it. I got
uh,
it. So, like, what made me think that we could help you and to go ahead with what we are doing, right, for you? Yes.
mhm,
Actually, Lachelle, first of all, what I had a conversation with you before. So, as I told you before, also that what really strikes me and really made me understand is that the positivity that you're spreading all through the world, actually, because I kind of sometimes watch the podcast and the the interviews that you do. So they're just, I'm sure they're just not from one country, right? You do it from all over the world. So
mhm,
that's the positivity that I see. And then this not only it's not about just the pandemic. I think in this 20th century of being a very very hectic life that we are leading, all of us, I think people do not have time for each other. First of all, they are all running the rat race, and we are all running the rat race, so we cannot deny that, first of all. So because we have to compete, because we have to survive, so it's like the survival of the fittest, right? So
mhm,
and it amongst all that, amongst not having the time, and being so busy with our life, with our family, with the children, with our with the friends and social life and everything, with the work, you are doing such a great job. I must say that. And I'm on live. I would just, like to applaud you on that. You're just doing such a great job in talking to people, bringing out the best in people, actually. Because, there are some times that we need to speak to somebody to really
mhm,
let that out. And we need to be heard, sometimes.
mhm,
So
mhm,
the thing that you're doing is, for me, it's like it's like more than just a collaboration, really. It's
mhm,
just more than collaboration, because it's just, if had it been a collaboration, we could have just gone into an agreement or something like that. But it's
right.
not that. It's not that, because I like what you do, and my team understands the passion that you do and for what you do. So, and that's what that's what how we how we it's about appreciation. It's about understanding.
Yeah.
It's about understanding someone's feeling about why would someone spend so much of time just speaking to people. First
Mhm,
of all, what is the person gaining out of
mhm.
it, right?
Yeah.
So
That is so awesome. Thank you so much for those kind words.
that's the only point. That's the only point I can tell you, because it's from my heart. So that's the only point I can tell you.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I love that because, that's encouraging for people right now. A
Yeah,
lot of people who do different jobs, it could be anything, whether it's something you're doing on video or, showing up for somebody at the grocery store, having that smile and things like that. So that just means so much. That is so sweet. So, you brought up a very good point before we started the recording about women already being empowered. So speak to us about that, because I think that is just so phenomenal, and it is true. I agree with it, but I think there's times that we lose sight of that. So talk to us about how you feel that women are already empowered.
Yes, I feel that women are already empowered, and I'll tell you the reason why I think so. Because you see, first of all, women give birth.
Mhm.
That's the basic point, right?
Mhm.
So she gives birth to a son. She gives birth to a daughter, right?
Mhm.
So don't think that we're not empowered. First of all,
Mhm.
you know, we are empowered, but
Mhm.
sometimes society is, society gets to what do you call that? Like, um, it kind of brings a lot of sorrow for us, in a
Mhm.
way. In a way, let me explain. In a way that, you know you might right now feel that, being a woman, I have to take care of my family, I have to take care of my children, but my
Mhm.
husband doesn't.
Mhm.
Well, let me tell you, why do you need to take care of your children and your family and your household, even though if you're a working woman?
Mhm.
Because you are compassion. You
Mhm.
yourself are compassion.
Mhm.
You have the heart to understand your children. It's not that your husband doesn't, but
Mhm.
women are made in a way that they need to, and we have to go through that way and not, go the other way, which
Mhm.
I right now see a lot of, women think that, it's kind of a thing like, if the men can do, we can also do.
Right.
Like, if the men doesn't do, we will not do. But we are not meant for that. We are much, much higher. We are made for sacrifices, but sacrifice is not in the way that, you get beaten by your uh, by your husband, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
not that. When I mean sacrifice, it's not that. It's not
Right.
actually sacrifice. If you see it in a compassionate way, it's not sacrifice.
Right.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
when I say that women are empowered, they are already empowered because we are made in a way that we can, it's just not about the physical energy that a woman carries. A
Mhm.
woman carries a much, much, much more mental strength than a man.
Mm.
She is the power, she's the power behind a man.
Mm. I love
As
that.
as
Yeah.
you know, you have your own husband, right?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
sometimes your husband comes to you, and you just know what to do. Whether
Mhm.
you can explain it to your husband and convince him, that's a different thing, but you know what would work.
Right.
Sometimes the men's, the brain is like very right-sided. They are like, you know,
Right.
no, I don't want to do that, and they'll just go into an argument with anybody. But we women,
Right.
yeah, so we women are much more composed, and we are compassionate, and
Mhm.
that's how we have to hold ourselves as. It's like I would like to take an excerpt from the meditation that we do, right? It's Sahaja
Mhm.
Yoga meditation. So
Mhm.
the founder, that is Her Holiness Srimataji Nirmala Devi. I would like to take a quote from her, uh,
Okay.
which which says that women and men are not same, but they are
Mhm.
equal.
Mhm.
Okay, it's
Mhm.
it's like it's like a chariot. The wheels of a chariot.
Right.
The chariot has four wheels, two in the
Mhm.
front and two at the back, right?
Right.
So the two in the front are the men, and the two
Mhm.
at the back are the women.
Mm.
So if any of them falls, the chariot will not move.
I like that.
So we have to understand that
Mhm.
we are equal, but we are not the same.
Right. I love that. I love that. Now, so you brought up so many good points, about the compassion, about us not being the same. I think that's key because, when sometimes we get caught up in, well, my husband didn't respond this way. I would have done it like this. So talk to us about, how we maintain that level of composure when things kind of don't line up the way we feel they should. What are some things you do to kind of keep that composure? Does that question make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, for me, it's a little different because, as you know, when you're a firm believer of God, and since also I do the meditation, so it's the Sahaja Yoga meditation. So it helps me to keep calm, but not everyone does that. So I would like to reply this to you on a very basic term, so that people understand.
Right.
To be composed, first of all, you have to first of all understand where is your husband coming from.
Mm,
Understand. Go into an argument first. You have to be receptive. You have to be receptive.
mhm,
So understand where is your husband coming from. You sometimes, I see, it's from my personal experiences. I see women nowadays, they keep shouting at everyone, and at their husband
mhm,
specifically. They
mhm,
think that it's very, very empowering. They're doing a good
mhm,
thing.
mhm,
It's not so.
mm,
It's not so,
mhm,
because you know you have to respect the relationship first of all,
mhm,
and if there is an understanding, if there is respect, if there is love, there definitely will be a solution. But if you
mm,
want to argue and take things in a different way, um, you know in a negative way, I should say, you know
mhm,
where you get caught into your ego.
mhm.
Ego is the main problem here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ego is the main problem here, because everything, we don't know the absolute truth. Do we
Right.
know that? We don't know the absolute truth. We just know the relative truth, right? It's everything relative.
Right.
It's everything relative. So
Mhm,
even if your husband is telling you something that you need to understand, then understand. If your
mhm,
husband needs to understand you, then he must understand.
mhm,
So to be
mhm,
composed, I would say, understand, build a good relationship, and talk. Please
mm,
talk.
mhm.
Which I think in most of the relationships right now is not happening.
Right.
So the problem is that, and understanding happens only if you share. You share
Mm,
your thoughts, you share your ideas, you share your feelings,
mhm,
right? If you don't talk, how do you expect somebody to understand? Forget about your husband, even
mhm,
your own parents. How do you expect them to understand a situation? So you have
mhm,
to talk, and
mhm.
talk, not in the sense like you shout and talk, but
Right.
yeah, but you be compassionate first of all,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
And
mhm,
then take this forward. So
mhm,
being composed is really not a very difficult thing. It is all
mhm,
about understanding. It's all
mhm,
about the care that you have for your husband,
mhm.
and it's all about the relationship of love that you have. You know,
Wow. Yeah.
so that's how
That
it is.
that is awesome. And for many people, we remember that. For some people that have been married for a while, they remember, that love. It's kind of like leading first with love, character, all
Yeah.
these things that you desire, you know.
Mhm.
But, for some people, they're like, why is it that I have to understand? And they feel like their spouse doesn't understand.
Well,
So
first,
you know what I mean? Because it's like the reality is, yeah, this is good, but we shout at each other all the time, or we know that we're not doing things right. So, what is a baby step that they could do? Because to listen to understand, that takes a lot of it's kind of like inner strength. It's like, I don't really need this person to validate me. So you're coming from a different place, so if you're choosing to be composed, you're choosing that over sometimes a conversation. So it's like, I don't have to be right in this. I'm just gonna lead with the intention of staying composed. But for somebody who's not there, what do they start with first? You understand that question?
Definitely, yes.
Mhm,
I am. You mean to say, somebody who really thinks that, he or she is not responsible, uh, to be understood all the time, right? So, yeah, I understand that. Well, you see, there has to be a logic behind everything. That's how I take it. Okay, there
mhm,
has to be a logic behind everything. Whether you have a relationship of a year or you have a relationship for, you have a married relationship of 50 years, whatever
mhm,
it is, there has to be a logic. And
mhm,
when you actually took a decision of living with someone or marrying someone,
mhm.
I'm sure it didn't happen in a day's time, right?
Right.
So yeah, so that you knew that person,
Mhm,
you understood that person, and you thought that he was a good person to stay, for you to stay with,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
So suddenly, if somebody, I don't see that relationships do not break or something like that, or you cannot go out of a relationship or something like that,
mhm,
or but if it is really that negative, it's
mhm,
really that negative where you do not have a choice. You have tried all your cards, you really do not have a choice, and you see that there is no way that you can mend this relationship, and you have
mhm,
tried everything from your end, but the
mhm,
person really 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 doesn't care about you, then of
mhm,
course, why not? Because you have a self-respect. I don't
mhm,
disagree with that. You have a self-respect.
mhm,
And as a woman, if you're working, and even though if you're not working, I think as a
mhm,
woman with self-respect, you should never be there.
mm. Good
So
point.
there has to be a logical reason behind everything. You know.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
just talk it out. Just talk it out and see how it
mhm.
goes.
I love that. Yeah. And I think, there is that element of really realizing and being truthful with ourselves, you
And
know,
yeah,
because we don't do that sometimes.
yeah. I'm sorry, I just forgot one point. Is that the problem is not with the person who thinks that um, whether they can stay with the person or not stay with the person. The
Mhm,
problem is two person do not like each other, but they're still carrying on.
mm.
I
Yeah.
don't know for what. Maybe for their children,
Mhm,
maybe for the family, maybe for the society, could be
mhm,
anything. But
mhm,
it would gradually eat you up, you know,
mm,
from the inside.
mhm.
So if
Yeah.
you are into a relationship, give your 100%. If you
Mm,
cannot, just move ahead.
mhm. I love that, because like I said, these are some of the hard questions that we
Yes.
avoid. And then we get bad habits because we find ways to cope with not admitting the truth of things that are going on. So, very good point. Now, so I guess in closing, we would talk about, you're in the Philippines, I'm here in the States. What challenges do you think women have when it comes to exercising our empowerment? Do you feel like what are some of your challenges? Because a lot of times we just think, oh, I'm a woman. Everybody has this same issue. And it's not until, like you said, we have a conversation, we talk about it, understanding. And then, so what are some of the challenges that you feel women still face in using our empowerment, whether it's in business or socially? What is your feeling on that?
Well, Michelle, right now I'm in India. I'm not in Philippines.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so
Uh-huh.
because we came back a long time back because of the pandemic actually.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, coming back to your question. Well, right now in this century, uh,
Mhm.
if you ask me, because I can only tell you my experiences, I
Mhm.
really cannot tell anybody's experience. So I will
I,
tell you from my point of view is that um, in this 20th century, um, women and men, first of all, let me come to the business point of view. Women and men, uh, they really, there is no much difference, you know, other than just the fact that you're a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because in business, it's something like, you deal with, you really deal with hardcore business. You really don't have time for this man and woman kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
your focus is when you are hired. Let me come to that point. When you're hired, a company would see whether you are the right person for the job or not.
Mm-hmm.
Not because you're a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The person would see on the other side of the table who's interviewing you. The person would see whether you'll be adding to the revenue of the company or not because you're a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to the floor and you actually do your job, your manager would see whether you're helping the team so that he gets a promotion, not because you're a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody sitting at the top would see his maybe a CEO would see a manager or a general manager in a way that he that person is really applying himself or
Mm-hmm.
herself in a way that she or he should be, and
Mm-hmm.
taking the company to a level where the
Mm-hmm.
CEO or the president has already um, you know um,
Mm-hmm.
envisioned, not
Right.
because you're a woman, right?
Love that.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's not for business here. So we have to understand a man or a woman for business. No, no difference. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's no difference.
Mm-hmm.
All the Centrita Labs, the company that does
Mm-hmm.
your flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Centrita Labs is a 100% woman's. It's a woman company.
Mm. Okay.
So because I wanted to do something for them, I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to give the opportunity to women who really does good work, but they do not get the exposure,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the business point of view, there is no such difference according to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are the individual experiences of people? Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you that, because from my point of view, I really haven't seen, because in my 10 years of business life, and 10 years before that, I was working with some of the MNCs and mainstream companies.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really felt that, they never made me feel that, you're a woman, and you need to just, do your work and keep your mouth shut, or I have been told something that I would feel that way, that because I'm a woman, probably they're not taking me seriously or something. Never.
Mm-hmm.
So I can tell you my experience. it's
Yes.
all about, it's all about proving yourself to the company,
I love that. And
right?
you're speaking so much from a place of empowerment.
Yes.
Just that whole mindset. I'm telling you, that could be a game changer for a lot of women listening, because just like you said, people have told you things, but that hasn't been your story.
Yes.
So we have to really decide what type of story, we telling ourselves, and what we're believing, or what we want to be true,
Yeah.
right?
What story would you like to lead?
Mhm.
you know
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and I think it's very important to be empowered. Well, empowerment, I would not really speak about it. I would not really take the word empowerment, because, as I told you, as I feel myself, that women are really, really, they are itself, empowered.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
uh, but empowerment also needs empowerment.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
understand that?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, what are you empowering, first of all?
Right.
Right, when we say woman empowerment, what are we empowering?
Right.
That's the question you should ask yourself. Are
Mhm.
we just going on the roads with placards? Is that what we call is woman empowerment?
Right.
What are we really empowering?
Mhm.
Are we making a change to our society? Are we making a change to our country, a state, the world itself?
Mhm.
So we really need to ask this logical questions, as I told you. It's all about logic.
Mhm.
It's all
Mhm.
about logic.
Mhm.
When somebody tells you something or advises you something, it's good to have advices, of course.
Right.
But ask yourself, do you need the advice? What does your logic tells you?
Right.
You have everything within yourself.
Mhm.
You just need to empower yourself. That's it. You don't
Mhm.
need to empower anybody else.
Mhm.
You empower yourself so that you become an example and people actually learns from you. That's
Right.
the basic empowerment that you can do to yourself. And
Mhm.
that's what I feel.
I love that. I mean, that is just, hey, that's a great, great, great nugget there. So I hope everybody is listening and taking notes. So I thought that was going to be the last question, but I would say, for people that are listening or watching, what is it that you have to do on a regular basis to stay empowered? Because you mentioned a good point about empowerment needs empowerment. You have to empower yourself. And to me, I liken it to, if you have a business, somebody came and gave you a business opportunity that was a franchise or something that was already running well,
Hmm.
you still have to maintain that business in order to keep it running well. There's
Yes.
work that goes into it. So,
Yes.
what work do you do with this empowerment piece? Because there's a lot of women that, even though you and I agree in what you're saying, that don't believe that. They are believing that they're victims, or they don't have enough opportunities, or life is happening to them. But what is it that you do that keeps you empowered?
To keep myself empowered.
Mhm.
Well, Michelle, that's a very tricky question because I really don't have uh, I don't have an idea of A to Z about myself being empowered, because I walk the right path, and
Mhm.
everything right happens to me. That's very simple. I have a very simple logic. I don't understand this, all that thing. So it's very simple for me,
Yes. That
right?
that is so true. And I think this is good because life is simple, but for some people it's not easy, right? So
Mhm.
it's a discipline, right? So you said that you walk in the right path. So there's things that maybe somebody comes to you with a shiny object, so to speak, right? And it's like, oh, add this to your business. This is going to net you so much more money. But you have a discipline of recognizing that just because somebody offers you something face value, there could be some other costs hidden to that you can't see, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Right,
So
right.
you have the logic to think about the total picture before making that decision, rather than just looking at the outside, if that makes sense.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
if you're asking me particularly about a business proposal, like for example, like you said, somebody's coming to you for a franchise,
Mhm.
and you know, it's something like that. Well, I think I would refer back to my the first thing that I told you is domain knowledge.
Mhm.
That's very important.
Mhm. Mhm.
Whether you have right now, I see people, because we do a lot of startups as well, so we get my husband and I, we do get inquiries for a lot of startups, and most of them, when we kind of sit across the table, and when we interview them, whether we should be taking their cases or not. So most of the time we see that they are not even understand they don't even understand of what the business is actually all about.
Mhm.
Somebody just told them that it's profitable, and so they just they want to invest all their money, and it's so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you take a loan from the bank, you mortgage something,
Mm-hmm.
so you are ready to take a risk. And nowadays I see, it's something like risk taking is like a very courageous thing. why
Right.
is why is that so?
Right.
Please understand, I would like to tell the audience, who are looking at it right now, please
Mm-hmm.
understand that, risk taking is not courageous. It's not always courageous. You have
Mm-hmm.
to understand whether you are on the right path, and you understand the business. Understand, you have the knowledge to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead with it?
Mm-hmm.
Say for example, I'm a business owner and I want to give a franchise to Lachelle. So I
Mm-hmm.
just come and tell Lachelle, this is a very it's a very lucrative business, and I'm just moving out of country, and I just want to hand it over to you because you're a very good friend. You can just see, you can see the reports and everything. I have been making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I have been making profits.
Mm-hmm.
So Lachelle thinks like, yeah, I mean, he's a good friend,
Mm-hmm.
and if he's telling me and he's showing me all the documents and everything, so
Mm-hmm.
there is not a way that I can I cannot I can deny it,
Mm-hmm.
right? and
Right.
and and you just feel that is very lucrative, it's very lucrative, the greed that we have, the shell, the greed that we have. That's why I tell you, that's why I tell you that you have to be on the right path. Why do I keep stressing on that? The greed that you have will either take you on the good path or on the wrong path.
Mm.
So
That's good.
you have to understand whether it's your greed or
Mm-hmm.
whether it is really something you're passionate about, and you
Mm-hmm.
have the knowledge that you can do,
Mm-hmm.
that you can even take the business to much, much better heights than what it is right now.
That's good. And that requires some work, right? Because
Yes.
that's the thing. People just think, hey, I got this nest egg. It's not going to require anything from me. It's just going to, that's where the greed comes in. So that
Yes,
is
yes.
just so good.
And easy money, easy money. It's something like I already have a restaurant which is running, and people come in, and I don't have to do that much of marketing, or the sales and everything is not on my head because it's already a
Right.
brand and people know it.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, it's not just that. There's a lot more to it,
So true. So
and
true.
that's why consultants like us come in.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And that is just awesome. I mean, very wise counsel. That's just amazing. So you have given us some great, this is really this could help somebody for some very good decision making, processes that could last them a lifetime just from this conversation. So I appreciate you sharing your insights. So
Right.
we have your email, your website, and everything going across the screen. What are some closing thoughts that you would like to share with the audience today?
Well, the closing thought, not a thought actually, what just came into my mind right now
Okay.
uh, is something, because we have been speaking about women empowerment, and that is something I personally have really felt that it is important for
Mhm.
women to be not empowered, but to be given opportunities.
Right.
Okay. So the my closing statement, it's not a statement, but it's a proposal for some of the women who think that they'll be they are interested into a business, and they are not probably not doing good with the marketing because of the pandemic, because you really need the marketing thing right now because it's not really
Right.
going well. And some of the businesses are really not doing not some, but most of them are not doing well because of it,
Mhm.
because most of them are closed right now, right? So
Right.
yeah, so if you're thinking of opening up a business, or you really have you have a ready business that you are running right now, and you need some of marketing stuffs, so it's just an opportunity I would like to share with some the maybe 20 women who would like to have the marketing less than $50 to
Mhm.
start with. We will do it free for you.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's something like we really do feel the importance of this time right now. And
Mhm.
as a group, I think because we have been talking about women empowerment, I think it's really my duty to do this. So
Mm.
anybody who feels is interested, please get in touch. Anything which is less than $50, we would do it free for you. So please feel free
That
to
is
call
so
me.
awesome.
Yeah, please feel free to just contact us through the one that is going on right now, Mr. Lotrup, or any of the emails or anything. Just go to our
Oh,
website and find all the contact information.
I just love that. I mean, that is just so unexpected. What a blessing. And I encourage everybody to reach out to you, and knowing your philosophy and insights and ways you think. I mean, that just is such a blessing. I love how it is just a part of what your values are, helping people. It's just so special. So I really appreciate that and want to thank you. And I encourage everybody to reach out to you because this is very important. I love how you're allowing people to not think about what they don't have, but think about what they do have.
Exactly, that's the point.
Hmm.
Exactly. And if it is stopping you to start something, don't worry about it. You can get in touch with me and we will help you go ahead. And as a closing comment, Lachelle, I would just like to add something that just keep it simple. Don't think too much. Go with spontaneity. Be spontaneous. Don't think so much. There's nothing that, I mean, life is not that serious that we think it is. So don't think so much. It's okay. It's okay to be sometimes not okay. But it's okay. But why should you be not okay, first of all, right? So ask the
Right.
question. Ask the questions to yourself. So
Hmm.
it's like an ongoing thing. It's okay to be not okay. So I don't
Right.
understand. Yeah, I don't understand that. Why should you be not okay? You should be always okay.
Right.
Or make things okay for yourself. Just do it. Just do it.
Love it. Love it. Great words. So we want to thank you guys for joining us today. This has been such a treat, and it was worth every minute of it. We had a little technical difficulties this
Yeah, I'm
morning.
sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
No, but it was all good because this is just a phenomenal interview. And I love those words of encouragement, that wisdom, and for everybody listening, I encourage you to reach out to Dee because this is a very generous offer, and keep that momentum and that energy going. She is on a frequency of being empowered, and connect with her because if you're ready to level up, that's what it takes is connecting like a puzzle to the right people, the right energy so you can keep moving forward. So
Right.
thank you guys so much for watching, and uh just do it. Just like Dee says, keep it simple and just do it. So thank
Thank
you guys
you.
for watching.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, so much for having me here with you. And it's been such a blessing to be able to share my thoughts, and that too, into with the topic that I really needed to speak probably.
Mm,
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
you are so welcome. And you guys can witness the magic that she does every day, Monday through Friday, through the flyers that I post for my podcast. And again, great work that she does with her team. And I encourage you to reach out to her. And you guys have a wonderful day. And thanks so much for watching us during this time. So have a great week, and we'll see
Thank
you
you,
next
Michelle.
time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.